Congratulations on your purchase of a new SEADOO boat. This is a short video filled with safety information. As a new SEADOO boat user, you are going to enjoy this exciting product that makes summer more enjoyable. Watch this video before using your SEADOO boat. Failure to do so may result in serious injury or death. In addition to watching this video, take the time to read and follow your operator's guide. It should be kept on board at all times. Moreover, you must also read and understand all safety labels affixed to your boat before riding. That way, you will keep the important safety tips in mind. Know and respect boating laws. Know the operator age and training requirements for your jurisdiction. Your next step is to practice in a controlled, low-risk environment so that you can become familiar with your boat's behavior by doing the practice exercises shown in the guide. We'll go over this in more detail later in this video. More formal training is also a good idea, so we also recommend that you enroll in a class to hone your knowledge and skills even more. BRP suggests that you and other operators of your craft take an approved boating safety course. These courses are available through the Coast Guard, Power Squadron, Coast Guard Auxiliary, and local enforcement agencies. You should refer back to your operator's guide regularly to refresh your knowledge. Engine exhaust fumes contain carbon monoxide, which is an odorless and colorless gas. Carbon monoxide can be harmful or fatal if inhaled. Refer to the carbon monoxide and boating section of your operator's guide to learn more about it. Read and understand the safety labels related to this subject. Never stay behind the boat while engines are on, and turn off engines before using the swim platform. Riding on water with your boat poses certain risks like any other type of vehicle. That's why it's very important to have the skills and knowledge to be totally in control of your boat at all times. It's also critical to understand your boat's operating characteristics and limitations. The boat propulsion system is called a jet drive system that works by drawing water into the intake grate just below and slightly ahead of the impeller. The impeller, which is a type of propeller driven by the engine, pressurizes the water and forces it rearward. Don't forget, directional control is reduced when throttle is released and lost when engine is off. Do not release the throttle when trying to steer away from an object. You need throttle to steer. Never place your hands, feet, clothing, hair, or other foreign objects where they can be drawn into this grate while the engine is running. Avoid riding in areas with less than 3 feet of water or where there is heavy vegetation at the water surface level. Never stay behind the boat while engines are on. When boarding the boat from a dock or from the swim platform, it's important that engines must not run. Something else that you need to understand is the stopping distance. Generally, boats have no brakes, so you must pull back on the throttle and slow up well before you are near the shore or dock. This is extremely important, especially when moving at fast speed, so be extra careful. Collisions are unfortunate events which will hopefully never happen to you. They result in more injuries and deaths than any other type of accidents for watercrafts. In this chapter, we will provide you information about collision avoidance. You must know the limits of your boat under different conditions. Do not attempt maneuvers that may be risky for you, your passengers, or bystanders. Scan constantly for people, objects, and other watercraft. Be alert for conditions that limit your visibility or block your vision of others. Operate defensively at safe speed and keep a safe distance away from people, objects, and other watercrafts. Do not follow directly behind other watercrafts. Do not go near others to spray or splash them with water. Avoid areas with submerged objects or shallow water. Take early action to avoid collisions. Remember, generally, watercrafts do not have brakes. Do not release the throttle when trying to steer away from an object. You need throttle to steer. Ride within your limits and avoid aggressive maneuvers to reduce the risk of loss of control, ejection, and collision. This is a high-performance boat, not a toy. Sharp turns or jumping wakes or waves can increase the risk of back spinal injury, paralysis, facial injuries, and broken legs, ankles, and other bones. Do not jump wakes or waves. You may not see a boat or a person being towed by it. Observe and obey all posted speed limit signs and other navigation markers. And finally, don't forget to use your judgment too. First, the SEADOO boat has a driver's seat and many seats for passengers. Refer to the maximum capacity label to know the limit of your boat in terms of weight and number of occupants. It is of utmost importance that everyone on board has his own personal flotation device, called PFD. A PFD can save your life, but only if you are wearing it. Not required in all types of boats, it makes sense to wear a PFD when underway. Everyone, especially children, should wear an appropriately sized PFD at all times. There are also a few safety items that should be in proper working order that you're required to have on board your boat. All boats should have a sound-producing device on board, whether it's a simple marine whistle air horn or other device. A Coast Guard-approved fire extinguisher. It also makes sense to always keep the following items on board: visual distress signals, a small toolkit, local map, first aid kit, a tow rope, paddle, a cellular phone, extra clothes, sunscreen, and an anchor. All take up a little space, but can be a big help. Before heading out, make sure you let someone know of your plans and expected return time. It's also important to check the weather and surf report. Weather can change quickly, causing all kinds of hazardous situations. So if you see weather conditions changing to the worse, be smart and head back to shore. Speaking of heading back to shore, fuel management is one of the keys to safe, enjoyable boating. We recommend the 1/3 rule. 1/3 of your fuel on the way out, 1/3 of your fuel on the way in, and 1/3 of your fuel as a reserve. The operator and passengers should be properly seated before starting or moving the boat. All passengers should be instructed to use the handholds in rough waters. Finally, every time you go out for a ride, you accept inherent risks, such as those arising from water conditions and weather. But you can reduce your exposure to these risks by using good judgment, skills, and vigilance while operating your boat. No boating laws. We will cover this topic later on in this video. Know the operator age and training requirements for your jurisdiction. We recommend that you be at least 16 years old and supervised by an adult. You must avoid anything that impairs your own abilities, such as alcohol, drugs, and fatigue. Another key way to reduce your exposure to risk is by carefully planning and preparing. By thinking ahead, you can often avoid situations that may be beyond your skill level. Keep an eye on the weather. Preparing to ride your boat means that you perform regular maintenance to keep it in good working condition and inspect it before every ride, as outlined in your operator's guide. Always attach the tether cord to your PFD or wrist strap when operating the boat. If you have friends who ride or are interested in riding, show them this video and review safety labels and the operator's guide for operating instructions. You'll be doing your part to ensure our sport remains safe and enjoyable. Let's take a look at the controls found on your SEADOO boat. Number 1. Steering wheel. To steer your boat, simply turn in the direction you want to go. Don't forget, directional control is reduced when throttle is released and lost when engine is off. Number 2. Throttle lever. This lever is located on the right side. Your boat may be equipped with 2 levers, one for each engine, or incorporated into the shift lever. When pushed forward, the boat accelerates. When fully pulled back, engines return to idle speed and the boat is gradually stopped by water drag. Number 3. Shift lever. The shift lever is located next to the throttle lever or incorporated into the throttle lever. The shift lever has 3 positions. Make sure the throttle lever is completely pulled back to idle position before using the shift lever. The boat shift pattern is forward, neutral, and reverse. the shift lever must be in neutral position to allow engine starting. While it is particularly useful when docking, the reverse should not be used for braking. Refer to the reverse section of your operator's guide for detailed instructions on how to operate in reverse mode. Number 4. Engine cutout switch. This switch is located near the steering wheel, depending on your model. The tether cord should be snapped on it to allow engine starting. Always attach the tether cord to the operator when riding. Number 5. Ignition switch. The ignition switch is located on the driver's console. It has 3 positions. Position number 1 is the off position. Position number 2 is called accessories position that allows radio and deck light to work. Position number 3 is the on position that will allow the engine to start. Number 6. Engine start-stop button. The engine start button is located on the driver's console. Simply press and hold the button to start the engine. Once the engine is started, release the button. To stop the engine, press it again. Number 7. Bilge blower switch. The bilge blower switch is located on the driver's console. Activate the switch for 5 minutes prior to starting the engine and turn it off above idle speed. Use of this switch should never replace smelling for gasoline vapor odors. Number 8. Navigation lights switch. This switch is located on the driver's console. Lights should always be used between sunset and sunrise for safety purposes. Don't forget to install the stern light pole. Number 9. Bilge pump switch. This switch is located on the driver's console. Put the switch to on position when a manual operation is required. Turn it off when finished. Refer to your operator's guide for all other controls and instruments information. Perform a pre-ride inspection before each ride to detect potential problems during operation. The pre-ride inspection can help you monitor wear and deterioration before they become a problem. Correct any problems that you discover to reduce the risk of a breakdown or crash. See an authorized SEADOO boat dealer if necessary. We will show you the pre-ride inspection that needs to be done when the boat is still on the trailer. Refer to your operator's guide to know what to inspect when the boat is already on the water. Check these items before launching the boat. First, make sure you have enough gasoline before launching the boat. Start your inspection by walking around your boat, checking the hull for cracks or other damage. Inspect and clean, if necessary, the jet pump water intake. Ensure the bilge drain plugs are properly secured. Get in the boat and open the engine compartment to check for gasoline vapor odors. Inspect fuel system for leaks and components integrity. If gasoline leaks or gasoline vapor odors are present, do not start the engine or use electrical accessories. Consult an authorized SEADOO boat dealer. Make sure the main electrical switch is at the on position. Check throttle lever for free and smooth operation. If it does not operate freely, do not start your engine. Take the vehicle in to have it repaired. Check shift lever operation in forward, neutral, and reverse, then leave it in neutral. Check steering for free and smooth operation. Now you are ready to connect the tether cord to the engine cutoff switch. Turn on the ignition switch and check that the multifunction gauge cluster is powered and self-testing. Turn on the bilge blower and make sure it is operational. Leave it on for 5 minutes as you complete your inspection. Check bimini top and towing tower if so equipped. Check for tightness of mounting points fasteners and the integrity of the structure. Ensure all required safety equipment is on board and in good condition. Periodically check the straps, buckles, and fasteners of your personal flotation device to make sure that there are no rips or tears and that the buckles are functioning properly. Ensure all storage compartments are closed and latched. Check the functionality and cleanliness of the navigation lights. Start all engines to check functionality. Shut off engines by pulling on the tether cord. Get the boat in the water. Attach one end of the tether cord to the engine cutoff switch and the other end to you using your PFD or a wrist strap. When free from the trailer, start your engines. Check again the shift lever operation in forward, neutral, and reverse, and also the steering functionality. It is always a good idea to practice and get familiar with all controls, functions, and handling characteristics of your boat before venturing further. First, attach one end of the tether cord to the engine cutoff switch and the other end to you using your PFD or a wrist strap. Start the engine and find a suitable area to practice and perform the following exercises. It should be an area without obstacles like other boats or buoys. Start at a slow speed, making circles and figure eights, and release the throttle. Then increase your speed and repeat that until you feel comfortable. When you pull back the throttle, the engine returns to idle speed and the boat is gradually slowed down by water drag. It's a good idea to get a feel for the stopping distance of your boat at different speeds. Do not pull backward on the throttle when trying to steer away from an object. Remember, you need throttle to steer. Practice docking using the throttle and shift levers, along with the steering, to become familiar and develop good control skills. Learn how the boat operates in reverse and reacts with steering input. Always perform this exercise at slow speeds. If your boat features include the ski mode and cruise control mode, it's a good idea to practice setting them first when you are alone. Use the mode and set buttons for settings. Refer to your operator's guide for more details. The ski and the cruise control modes are not an automatic pilot. They will not drive the boat. No boating laws. A boating safety course is recommended and may be required in your jurisdiction. Know and follow all applicable laws. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. It is your responsibility to be informed. Observe and obey all posted speed limit signs and other navigation markers. For example, this flag means someone is diving in the area. Stay at least 45 meters or about 150 feet away from the area. A more maneuverable boat should stay out of the way of less maneuverable crafts. Sailboats, windsurfers, canoes, and other manually powered boats have the right of way over powered watercrafts because they're not as easy or as quick to maneuver. For now, however, let's look at the right-of-way rules, which are probably the most important rules of navigation. In all situations, use common sense. Then, when meeting head-on or traveling on the same path as another boat, neither boat has the right-of-way. Both should steer to the right. When crossing the path of another boat, the boat on the right has the right-of-way. The other boat steers clear, altering its course to the right and crossing behind the right-of-way boat. The yielding boat should do everything possible to avoid the crossing boat, including slowing, stopping, or reversing. If you're crossing the path of a boat coming from your left, you should keep the same path at the same speed and should change course only when trying to avoid collision. When trying to pass another boat from behind, stay far from the boat you're trying to pass. You can pass on either side as long as you stay well clear of the slower moving vessel. However, in all situations, if a collision is imminent, you must take another course of action to try to avoid the collision. Try to let the other boater know what you are doing and make your move decisively. Remember, just because you know these rules doesn't mean other boaters do. Defensive driving is key to safe boating, so always give yourself time to react, no matter what the situation. And finally, don't forget to use your judgment too. Each boat operator has a responsibility to ensure the safety of his passengers and of other water users. Never ride with more passengers than the boat capacity, even if the total weight would be under the limit. Ensure that the number and weight of your passengers do not restrict proper boating control and visibility. Ask your passengers to respect the safety label affixed near the bow seat, indicating not to sit there while the boat is speeding over 8 kilometers per hour or 5 miles per hour. Refer to the underway seating position label that shows where occupants should be sitting while on the way. Passenger grab handles provide a sturdy handhold. Conveniently located, they are often integrated into the seating. Engines must be turned off when a person is seated on the sun deck. It's equally important that at least one passenger should be able to operate the boat in case the operator is unexpectedly unable to do so. He must also not drive after consuming drugs or alcohol. Moving to the back of the boat, we find the rear grab handle. This large handle provides a handhold for deep water reboarding. The SEADOO boats are designed to carry the operator and passengers. Water skiing, wakeboarding, and riding a towed inflatable apparatus are some of the more popular water sports. Avoid teak surfing, since it is extremely dangerous to participants due to their proximity to the rear exhaust gases. Water sports are a great way to enjoy the water, but like operating a boat, it requires a bit of training and know-how. Always have a second person on board to observe the person in the water so the driver can concentrate on operating the boat. Some jurisdictions require a spotter by law, but even if yours doesn't, we think spotters make sense. Hand signals are key to enjoying the water safely. Everyone on board should be familiar with them. Here are some generally accepted basic hand signals: slower, faster, speed okay, stop, fallen skier, watch out. Okay, back to dock. Anyone being towed, whether they're riding water skis, slalom skis, or wakeboards, must wear a Coast Guard-approved PFD. A wetsuit is also recommended to prevent against hypothermia and some injuries. When the pulled person falls, keep him or her in view. Stay in a safe distance away. Circle slowly to get the tow rope to them. Do not pull the tow rope in front of other boats, and be careful not to run over the rope yourself. A slack tow rope can become entangled with a person or objects in the boat or on the water, particularly when making a tight turn or circling. When reboarding, it is important to make sure the engine is not running. When boarding in deep water, swim to the rear of the boat, release and use the ladder to help you get on the boat. Don't forget to fasten the ladder after use. Ease the boat up in the trailer. Secure bow ring and tighten. Pull the boat up the ramp. Open the drain plug and turn on the bilge pump. Make sure the stern or rear is securely strapped to the trailer before driving any distance. There are a few quick and easy post-ride procedures that must be followed. First, rinse down the hull with a garden hose. Then connect the hose to the exhaust system flushing connector at the rear of the boat. Start the engine before opening the water tap. Run the engine at 4,500 RPM for 20 seconds, and then close the water tap and shut down the engine. Repeat for the second engine when applicable. Then open the engine compartment and open the drain plug if you haven't already. It's time to check oil level since the engine is still warm. Rinse the engine compartment with fresh water, taking care not to spray into the air silencer. Make sure the engine is cool. Allow bilge to drain fully and secure the drain plug. Turn off the bilge pump. Check to make sure the boat is securely attached on the trailer. See your authorized SEADOO boat dealer or refer to your operator's guide to prepare your boat for long-term storage. This is particularly important if you expect freezing temperatures. It's recommended that your craft be inspected by an authorized SEADOO boat dealer at least once a year. With any motorized product, there is scheduled maintenance that must be performed. Store your boat in a well-ventilated area. It's a good idea to remove the cover and the seat, as well as leaving the storage compartment open to allow for total air circulation. This concludes our review of the important safety information that you need to know before enjoying your SEADOO boat. Thanks for your time.